Well, that's the round of 16 for you. Those 3 races are in the books. Some drivers getting tons of points, like Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, and Kyle Larson. And now, Andrew, let's go ahead and recap our Bristol race weeks from Fantasy.
Yeah, really the main points, or the main incidences to our fantasy lineups were Kyle Busch having a tire problem at stage 3, Chase Elliott and Kevin Harvick getting into it with each other. Chase got a tire down, still finished, I think, 12th in the fantasy standings, but yeah, that was a blow to our points. I know some of our lineups had Christopher Bell. He also had a tire issue. I think you predicted Chase to win.
Yeah, I got some Chase Elliott winning from my main lineup, Jackuwarz. Fortunately, I got half of that correct with Chevrolet and Hendrick Motorsports. Just got the wrong Hendrick car winning. So I still get bonus picks there. At one point, with Elliott leading and the rest of my lineups doing good, I was projected to have a 270-point day. And that was with my main starters, with Joey Logano in the garage with no stage points. They were all running in the top 6. And they had really good stage points as well. We were going to have that. And then we had issues one by one with Kyle Busch and then later Chase Elliott. Both those guys falling out of the top 20. And then reducing my main lineup to less than 220 points at 218. But right before we get into our picks for Las Vegas, let's go into the top results from the Bristol race. Got Kyle Larson in here, but more towards that bottom list. You got Martin Truex Jr. here. He stays inside the top 10 all day. Gets himself 32 points. Quite the surprising day there indeed. There's also Eric Jones right outside this top 8 group. He got the 9th most points with his 8th place finish. No stage points, just 29 points. Quite impressive.
Yeah, very impressive on Eric Jones. And like even guys like Bowman and Byron, they weren't expected to run here, or we didn't expect them to run really good here. They proved us wrong and came home with top 8, top 9 finishes. Top 4 goes to Kevin Harvick, who finished 2nd. Could have won the race, but Larson came in at the end and stole the win from him. So that's top Chevy, and your top Toyota is Martin Truex Jr. Definitely a surprise on him since he has not finished in the top 10 in a JGR car at all.
In Bristol. And of course, you got Kyle Larson, the race winner, as your top Chevrolet. And so that was the week of Bristol. Now we head to Las Vegas Motor Speedway, just over the 215 and up northeast near the Nellis Air Force Base. We're going to have a race here in Las Vegas. It's going to kick off the round of 12 as well. And so let's take a look at our tier list here. Andrew, you're going to kick things off covering one of those drivers that we have in our top plays category.
Yeah, so for my top play for Las Vegas, I'm going to go with the 12 car of Ryan Blaney. We haven't harped a lot on the 12 car in the past weeks, but for this 550 package, I really like him. Key stat to really just encompass what that 12 car has done at Las Vegas especially is 7 out of the 9 races he's finished between 5th to 7th. So that really shows that he's really good here, and even a target or a candidate for a top 4. But if you want to know like his average speed rating within the tracks of like Las Vegas, Atlanta, Michigan, and Kansas, those are the tracks I like to focus on my research this weekend. That would be 7.5 is his average finish rating. He's got 12.7 fastest laps, and you saw him win like Michigan. Albeit, you know, it was due to a late race caution, but that 12 car looked to be the best Ford in the field and really a top candidate to be a top play.
Yeah, he's going to be one of my many drivers that I'm going to be having my building blocks around. Him, Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, and William Byron should be the first few drivers that you should consider for this week for Las Vegas. About some plays that most of the player base might not be thinking too much about. From this category of drivers, there are not too many without having the ownership percentages dip way below to where long shot plays are. But in this small group of drivers for the blind spot plays, it's really up there with either Alex Bowman or Brad Keselowski that you should consider for this week. With Brad Keselowski, all of his best results this year have come on 550 horsepower tracks, such as Las Vegas, Kansas, Michigan, and Pocono are some other tracks just like it. If you look at some of the tracks past Las Vegas in this round, you got Talladega, another great track for Keselowski and he's also going to run good there. The Charlotte Roval, now he's not too keen on results at road courses, but I believe that there, and like the Daytona road course and Sonoma to an extent, that's where his best results at road courses could come from. But back to Las Vegas, Keselowski has won multiple races here. He won 2014, 2016.
And yeah, now to our long shot plays, where in this category, we're going to pick the number 47 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Just because, well, you know, Jackuwarz has a lineup called Pick Stenhouse, and if this is like you, this is a place where you should play him. Although, there is one thing to note, his spring results are a bit better than his fall results, with a 6.6 compared to a 26.3 in the last 3 races, but he's really just had an average finish of 19.8 in the 1.5 mile tracks, and I just really like his speed and what JTG bring to these kinds of tracks.
Besides Stenhouse and Austin Dillon, this whole category of long shot plays, you really don't need to dip your toes into this section right here. Mainly just focus on Alex Bowman, Brad Keselowski, or any of the top play drivers. But yeah, for my situation with Pick Stenhouse, I do need to try my hands at him for this track, because if you line up all the tracks in the playoffs, then Las Vegas is his best track here, and I'll have to make an exception that this is the September race and assume that he can maybe get a good result here, just like in March. So let's move on to the caution plays. Just like the blind spot plays, only 3 drivers that we can really go over. For here, we can go with Joey Logano to round out all of our Penske showcases. But some reasons here are pretty obvious. It's going to be a 550 track, but on the other hand, this could be Joey Logano's better 550 tracks this year, kind of like a Michigan or a Pocono, because just like Keselowski in the past, Joey Logano has won races here. He's won the 2020 March race and so on. And if you're looking at in the next 5 races or so, this could be Logano's best track. We're not going to throw Talladega in here because almost anything good or bad can happen, like what we saw last time at Talladega with Logano. But if you want a good result sometime before the end of this round, Las Vegas could end up being Logano's best track, despite it being a 550 race, which Logano has historically not been great at this year.
Finally, in the last tier, avoid plays tier, we have the 4 car of Kevin Harvick. So why the 4 car of Kevin Harvick, you say? He's coming off an average finish of, you know, just straight up 5 out of the round of 16. He looked really good in this round of 16. But remember, the round of 16, all 3 tracks were 750 tracks, and this is our first 550 track. So based on going on the stats of like these 550 tracks and these 1.5 milers, he's had an average finish of 9.7. That's pretty good. 2 top 5s, 4 top 10s. He usually runs around 12.5. But in the same 4 tracks that I like to focus on for Las Vegas, with Atlanta, Michigan, and Kansas, he's finished with 11.75. And really, the 4 car hasn't really been same from what I've seen from last year. There are a lot of times when I used Harvick in my lineups on, you know, like tracks like Atlanta, Michigan, I just had to garage him. Like, either he's had a few problems here or there, pretty minor ones, or they just really haven't had speed in that for the 550 or an answer for the 550 to be up there running top 10. So I would expect maybe Harvick to run 8th to 10th. He finished in 20th here in the spring. I would just use Las Vegas as a test round for the 550, and then try and throw him in at like Texas or Kansas in the later round, in the round of 8.
One part I can agree on you with Las Vegas with Harvick is most of his starts in the last few races here have been better than where he's finished, like the race last March where he finished 20th after finishing the pole, or after starting pole. If you're going to play Harvick, it's because of his results from Kansas and his past results at Las Vegas, not counting the March race here. So like Logano, like Keselowski, Harvick has won races in the past at Las Vegas, but sample sizing a good chunk of the 550 races this year, and besides his result at Kansas, then Harvick's been pretty mediocre at 550 races.
We focus on a lot of forward plays, so you can tell that this is going to be somewhat of a forward playground, if not an HMS playground with Kyle Larson. But
I'd say it's a Penske playground. Any one of those 3 Penske cars could come out and win this race.
Yeah, we definitely focused on a lot of Penske plays with Harvick. You know, we gotta avoid somebody, so I would avoid him. But if you are planning to use him, like we say with some of these avoids plays, just stack the rest of your lineup and then don't have to worry so much about that avoid play.
Alright, and with all that being said, those are our tier lists. And now, Andrew, let's set our lineups here. I'll go ahead and kick us off here. Jackuwarz 1, and for most of my other lineups, we're going to be using Brad Keselowski, Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, Martin Truex, and Denny Hamlin. Despite I'm already running low on Hamlin plays, I believe right after this race, there's a good stretch where you can start saving Hamlin plays. Like Talladega, you can, even though it'll be nice to have him for Talladega as well, I think you can get away with not playing him there. Just stick with some lower end drivers. The Charlotte Roval, hasn't posted a top 10 there, so you can probably get away with the play there. And so with my usage situation with Hamlin, that leaves me with play Hamlin here, and then just pick one of the round of 8 tracks, whether it be Kansas or Texas, to get that final play in.
Now to one of my lineups, JJYU5AY. I'm going a lot with Penske. Basically all 3 of their cars are in this lineup. Ryan Blaney and Brad Keselowski are going to be your starters. Joey Logano's going to be in the garage with 4 out of 5 uses, as I think I only really used them for Richmond. And so yeah, I still got 4 uses with them, so why not throw them in here? And then we got the duo from Hendrick Motorsports, William Byron and Kyle Larson. I think that are the best at 550, and then Kyle Busch. And then your bonus picks are going to be Larson, Brad Keselowski. Larson for your race winner and your top Chevy. Brad Keselowski is your top Ford. Denny Hamlin is your top Toyota, and the manufacturer and winning team will be Chevy and Hendrick. My reasons for not really starting the 11 are, I feel like I could use them in a lot of other tracks past the Las Vegas race. Like you can use them at, like Jackuwarz said, like Dega is a good place to use them. The round of 8, you could probably use them for all 3 races. Maybe not Texas so much, but yeah, if you got those Hamlin uses, for me, I'm gonna save them, but I can understand if you want to burn them up.
Right, that's not to mention Martinsville. I think out of all those 3 tracks, Martinsville could be the track that's it for Hamlin, and that's assuming that he needs to go in there and advance. Because if he somehow leaves Texas or Kansas with the win there, then the motivation for having a good run at Martinsville goes away. So hence my emphasis on getting the Hamlin play the final one at either Texas or Kansas.
Now, I don't think, like you said with the motivation going away, I don't think it will go away too much. I mean, he'll probably still have a top 10 car, but yeah, that goes on to like whether he'll get enough stage points or get those stage points to be a top 10 car in fantasy, which he could.
Back to some of my lineups. I'm ratioing my bonus picks. I got 2 that involve Larson all the way, and then 2 more with Penske, but I have either Brad Keselowski or Ryan Blaney for the win. I feel if Brad Keselowski is going to get one last hurrah win for Roger Penske before he moves over as a driver-owner partnership deal with Roush Fenway, I believe it's got to come at Las Vegas. Las Vegas has been historically a very good track for Keselowski. He almost won the race here last March over Kyle Larson. So if Keselowski has the same setup and the same fast car from Las Vegas, let's go Keselowski. Waste Elliott will deal with that idea, because that's the more riskier winning pick as to my other ones that have Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, or Ryan Blaney. Last thing we want to mention with my picks, top Toyota, I'm centering it around Denny Hamlin, 3 picks there, and then Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr. 1 pick each for the remaining 2 lineups. So I'm going Denny Hamlin all the way for top Toyota. Similar goes for Ryan Blaney in top Ford. I have more picks with him than with Keselowski, and then I have Kyle Larson's top Chevrolet for all my lineups. You could have a curveball in here and say William Byron gets top Chevrolet, but that 5 car is very difficult to beat as of late. And so those are our picks. Pretty straightforward, just burning through more of our top play drivers, mainly Denny Hamlin, and some other drivers we can save on. We're saving Chase Elliott and Kevin Harvick for the round of 8, I believe. No, Chase Elliott will have for the Charlotte Roval. Now we're going to look at the playoff grid challenge. Last round, Andrew, we got 3 out of the 4 drivers that are eliminated correct. Those being Kurt Busch, Michael McDowell, and either Tyler Reddick or Eric Almirola. For you, it was Almirola. Me, it was Reddick. And both of us, we thought Keselowski was going to get eliminated, and he didn't. And for both of us, that was the one incorrect driver from those 4 that got eliminated. And so now, we gotta pick 4 more drivers to kick the can in this round of 12. There's actually, it's just the same structure that we did for the round of 16. Both of us have 3 of the same drivers and then 1 different driver. So we'll start off with one driver that we both agree on. It's going to be Christopher Bell being eliminated. Not that I don't think he's going to do terrible to the likes of, say, Michael McDowell, where he didn't finish inside the top 20, I believe, in any of those 3 races. It's just that you look at the rest of the drivers in this round, I think Christopher Bell might not score as many points, especially when you factor in Las Vegas. It's a 550 track. Christopher Bell's numbers aren't that great at 550, not to the likes of, say, Brad Keselowski or Alex Bowman, which very likely those are the 2 drivers that Christopher Bell is going to be racing for if he wants to be a part of the round of 8. Talladega, he has a very low percentage of not DNFing at super speedways, which leaves the Charlotte Roval as a saving grace for Christopher Bell. If he can do exceptionally well there, then that's his best path to making the round of 8, is through a good day at the Charlotte Roval, maybe even a win or a top 3 finish.
Yeah, I know we both have him being eliminated, but yeah, definitely that the Las Vegas and Charlotte Roval are on my mind, as, you know, he could be that one guy, one of the 4 guys to be eliminated as a sleeper that could make it in. Since, you know, he's still in that JGR equipment, although he is kind of the worst JGR car, but still, he's definitely someone to watch out for.
Alright, Andrew, there's 2 more drivers that we both agree on that's going to get eliminated. Go ahead and pick the next one for both of us.
The next one we have is Kevin Arvik. Like we said, he's in our void for this weekend, but he really needs to have a good finish there. He really doesn't really do good at play races, albeit he was like top 5 at Daytona before he got wrecked out on the final lap. And then Charlotte Roval, he's been mediocre, 11th to a 9th place finish. With those results, I don't think Kevin Harvick can advance in this round unless they show something really spectacular at Las Vegas and win that round.
Yeah, honestly, I think my best path for Harvick to make the playoffs is if other drivers have issues, because I really don't see Harvick getting maybe a top 5 in this entire round. If you look at the 3 tracks here, Las Vegas, he's fallen off on in the last few races. He'll at best get a top 10 there, maybe with single-digit stage points. Same case for Talladega. I don't see him not crashing at that race. And then the Charlotte Roval, which besides the 2019 race there, he hasn't put up spectacular numbers, or in any situations he didn't need to put any spectacular results at the Charlotte Roval, whether it be he's already advanced to the next round at that time. But in a situation where he has to point his way in, I don't think he can put up some good numbers at the Charlotte Roval, because he hasn't shown us any impressive results at road courses at all this year. Never mind the Daytona road course earlier this season.
Also, another thing to mention is he comes in with the least amount of stage points, so he's already in a hole with, I think, 12 points already out, so he's going to need to have
playoff points. Minus 12 to, I want to say Joey Logano. Correction, it's William Byron. That's the first driver in, or the last driver in, not Joey Logano.
I think it's only by 1 point, so yeah,
Logano's out by 1 point with the playoff point seeding.
It's really going to be close from, like, I want to say even like 6th to 12th. It's going to be a really close battle.
We got one more driver before we have our differences and opinions on who gets eliminated in this round. That's going to be the 18 car of Kyle Busch. I'd say he gets eliminated the same way he did a year ago. It's just that these 3 specific tracks don't line up well for Kyle Busch. It's a mixed bag results-wise for Kyle Busch at his home track at Las Vegas. He either does okay there, he gets a top 10, or he just doesn't have any speed, or just has some sort of issues in some form or fashion. And then past Las Vegas, we got Talladega, which Kyle Busch has been horrible at surviving super speedway races. And then the Charlotte Roval, just like the Daytona Road Course, besides the clash we had there earlier this year, the Charlotte Roval has not been kind to Kyle Busch in the slightest. He has failed to finish inside the top 30 in any of those races. And you combine all those three tracks together, and Kyle Busch not having the most playoff points like he did in years past, mainly 2019, then it's easy to think that Kyle Busch is not going to make it past this round. If he had the amount of playoff points he had in the 2019 season, then he can easily use a good portion of that to make it through the next round. But without that, then he's got a lot of work to do in order to make it past this round. Mainly salvage a good day at Talladega and get his first top 30 finish at the Charlotte Roval. Maybe even blow it right past that expectation and get a top 5 finish or top 10 finish per se.
Yeah, the two tracks that I agree upon with you that he needs to finish are Vegas and the Roval. I just never been really a fan for Kyle Busch at these super speedways. Las Vegas a home track for him, so maybe he does a little bit better, as he has been, like, I would say is the best JGR car for 550. And then for road courses, he's definitely improved this year on his road course stats. Albeit, I think they were more on technical tracks and not these Roval types of road courses. But yeah, Kyle Busch, he could be another one to look forward to move on, but I don't really think so. I would think he's gonna get swept by a lot of these other guys.
Alright, and then we gotta pick one more driver we have to eliminate. Andrew, I'm gonna leave that one to you.
The one I differed on was, I don't think Brad Keselowski is gonna make it into the next round. I know 2 of his 3 tracks are really great for him, Las Vegas and Talladega. He probably could just surprise me and just win Talladega like he did one year, I think 2019, 2018.
2014, we'll say that. And then another time in 2017 as well.
But besides that, the 2-car, his Roval stats have not been good, and really just, he's never been at a road course. I'm a bit worried on the 2-car. It's going to be close, I would say, for him. I would say he finishes 13th, just really right on that bubble. 9th place, really right on that bubble.
Yeah, just like Kevin Harvick, Keselowski is going into this round below the cut line. He's minus 6 points to William Byron. And so, yeah, like if he doesn't have a good enough day at Las Vegas, or he has a terrible day at Talladega and the Charlotte Roval, that's enough to eliminate Keselowski. But for my driver, other than Keselowski that's going to get eliminated, it's William Byron. Both William Byron and Brad Keselowski, they're going to be great for 550 tracks, mainly Las Vegas. But I feel between those next 2 races, I think William Byron's going to have a worser day than Keselowski. With Talladega, yeah, he's survived a lot of Talladega races. We're talking that race a year ago where he almost won it. And then you have the Talladega race earlier this year, which he also had another top 5 result, I believe. But all it takes is just one incident, one 19 car, Martin Truex Jr., to come spinning into the outside wall and right where William Byron is, something like that. And then that puts William Byron in the 8 ball, because he's only 1 point to the good over Joey Logano. And Joey Logano, I like his chances at earn points more consistently, especially come playoff time. And with this round, I think he can will his way to a spot well above the cut line. And so, and plus the Charlotte Roval, even though the Charlotte Roval is one of Byron's better tracks, I think he might find some issues there as well, because Byron is a bit cursed on road courses, like at the Indianapolis road course. Watkins Glen has been a good result for him, and then he's been in wrecks at at Sonoma, and then brake issues at the Daytona road course.
For me, I have him advancing. Like we say, Vegas is going to be, I would think, a good result for him. Then Dega, it's really just going to really depend on how he races, and if he plays his cards right, that's just going to be really the key for all the drivers for Dega, is if they play their cards right and they finish well. By the way, his Dega finish in the spring was the 2nd place, 6 stage points, and if I remember, he did get into sort of a wreck with his teammates, but he did come back to wheel it home for a 2nd place finish. But yeah, like you said, it could really just take some weird circumstance and he could just be wrecked out in the Talladega playoff race. And then Charlotte Roval, you know, like you said, with his bad playoff luck, I don't think it really goes to this race. I know Indianapolis, he was running good, but then, you know, just some weird circumstances happened. But yeah, I think really the 24 runs good. I remember, I think I tweeted something to you where it said like the 24, they were ready. They were just like, they just needed to survive the round of 16, and they were really looking forward to the round of 12.
You're thinking similar case to Brad Keselowski. Once they get past that first round, then they're capable of making a deep playoff run, making it to the round of 8.
Brad Keselowski and Byron, they definitely have the speed to do so, and how, you know, the other drivers race around them and, yeah, not really wreck each other or something like that.
Alright. The margin of advancing or not is going to come down to just a few points or so. And so those are what we thought about the drivers that are going to be eliminated in this round. 3 of them we got the same of, and then it's me having Byron eliminated versus Andrew, he's eliminating Keselowski. And so that's our picks for the Las Vegas September weekend. It's going to be a rather later start to this one on Sunday. It's going to be 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on Sunday, September the 26th. That'll be when the South Point 400 gets underway here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Thank you everybody for watching. Next race after this is Talladega on October the 3rd.
Oh boy, what a race and a fantasy weekend that will be.
Alright, enjoy the race at Las Vegas, everybody. Enjoy fantasy. Good luck in it, as always. We'll catch you next time.
Yep, see you guys later.